I love art. Duh. No one makes a channel and posts on it about art if they don't actually care about it. But I also love making it. I love consuming it. After seeing shows like Castlevania and Arcane, movies like Into the Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, I know now more than ever that I want to be a part of creations like those. I'm currently attending art school and have been on the internet for ages, but I want to grow more, learn more, do more. My solution? Start studying the different styles of my favorite artists and media and emulate their practice and style as a study. Welcome to Artist Imitates Art, Episode 1, Arcane. Step 1. Research. This show is an incredible tale of loss and manipulation, a cautionary tale that shows just how different two people can become if raised under different circumstances. A total cause and effect clusterfuck that will tear your heart out and spit on it and then stamp on it and then put it back together and then do all of that again. The story itself is obviously amazing, but what I really fell in love with is the style and how they tell the story through it. The art of the show itself has ties to some of my favorite aesthetics and styles, including but not at all limited to Art Nouveau, Art Deco, cyberpunk, and steampunk. During my research, which consisted of YouTube videos picking apart the style, official interviews with the Riot team in the Fortiche studio, input from Reddit users and fellow artists alike, I found some perfect ways to describe the style, which helped me lay out my base rules that will help me emulate this style. Step 2. Rules. Arcane is commonly described as painterly in a digital format, semi-realistic and dramatized in terms of features and elements used. There are a few things I noticed that almost all of the art in the show had in common, and I turned them into rules that I'm going to follow in my attempt to imitate the style. Rule number 1. Planes of the face. Very clear, and those planes interact with lighting a buttload. It's what gives Arcane its emotional yet subtle yet incredibly unique way of portraying human features. Rule number 2. The bright highlight crease in the inner corner of the eye and distinct way of coloring irises. We see this as important, especially with the promotional posters for the show, commonly featuring Powder's eyes, Jinx's eyes glowing due to the shimmer, and Vi's eyes as the focus of the posters. Rule number 3. Overall smooth but weathered look to the props and clothes, really highlighting the planar elements of the style and showcasing just how those 3D models are painted into 2D environments. Rule number 4. Complex history and backstory for the character. This is less of a aesthetic style thing and more of a show writing style thing. All of the characters are so complex and morally ambiguous and just gorgeous. And so in order to emulate the style, I also want to emulate the story and create a character that could fit into that. Step 3. Rough draft. So I started with a sketch, which I'll talk about going over the details and the choices, but in the beginning, I scrolled through the League of Legends archives of characters and found this little girl with a big-ass bear monster that she can summon, which is very cool and totally had potential to become something a lot more angsty and grimy and dark. The character was Annie, and I decided to draw inspiration from her, a pre-existing character, just like how most of the characters in Arcane already existed within the League universe. I ended up making her motif things that are cat-related, like angular ears, whisker scars, sharp nails to emulate claws, and cat-eye eyeliner. It's similar to the way Jinx has reoccurring X's in her design, and Vi has reoccurring V's. Now that I had an idea of what she would look like, I brainstormed what could she possibly have come from, what was her backstory, why is she the way she is? And I decided on something that isn't mind-blowing, but it's a solid enough story. She's a homeless kid who is kind of passed between the adults in Zon, jumping from home to home until she either overstays her welcome or outlives her hosts, which is common due to starvation and addiction and the other tragedies that absolutely pillage the Undercity. She wasn't born in Zon, though. She was originally from Piltover. Her parents left her in a sewer grate that led to the underground because she was a bastard child, born after one night stand between the head of two influential houses. They had to get rid of the evidence. So right off the bat, she is a secret, a shameful thing to be hidden and forgotten, and she remembers that. She finds a mother cat that had lost its kittens as she crawled her way into Zon. She got lucky and was scooped up by someone safe, but they eventually died. And she never really got close to any of her other guardians. She did, however, latch on to that mama cat, which treated her like its kitten. She made little cardboard ears and painted them, stuck them to a headband. It was her armor. It made her feel safe. Of course, she would get cornered and made fun of by some of the older kids, looking for coin or just looking for something to entertain themselves with. They taunted her with words and knives, and eventually she taunted back. But when she did, they carved whiskers onto her cheeks in order to humiliate and harm her, poking fun at the fact that she was so childish. She never let those heal, constantly picking the scars open until they actually scarred over permanently. After that day, though, she was tired of feeling weak, so she looked for the source of the substance that made everyone in Zon run inside and cower. She found shimmer, and she studied its effects on her cat and herself. Slowly but surely, they built up a tolerance, but with it came addiction. She was addicted to the power of it, and is constantly on the prowl, looking for more to satisfy that itch. Her cat's name is Tibbers, who, like in League, becomes a ferocious guardian she can call upon. Both of them are absolutely destroyed by this addiction to shimmer. And whether she makes it out of Zon, or whether she finds her place in the Undercity, is yet to be known. That was my attempt at crafting a nuanced character that may fit into the Arcane universe. Obviously, it's not like Jinx level. I don't think anything could be. But she's in the relatively early stage of the shimmer addiction when I drew her, which is why her eyes are that purpley pink, but she isn't a hellish creature yet. Step 4. Render. Here you can see me using all of my rules to create the rendered version of Anne. Step 5. Reveal. From the research to the sketches to the final product, here is my attempt at imitating the beloved Arcane style. In the future, I would recommend putting even more time into the planning and not be so scared of references. The whole point of this was to imitate and emulate the style, so I really shouldn't have been afraid of taking bits and pieces from the show itself. Overall, I am overjoyed with the experience. It makes me excited to possibly someday work on something as beloved as a show like that. I also loved crafting that character and having a little creative outlet to make something low stakes but still get something out of it. I hope you guys enjoyed. You can always comment down below what style you'd like to see me imitate next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.